Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we got another game review recap to discuss. We're back with our game review, discussing the games that have happened over the past couple of days. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll get to the game previews for the games that are going to happen on Thursday and Friday. We'll also look at the standings and how are the teams shaping up right now this year compared to how they were doing at the exact same point in time last year. We'll get to all that coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Internet Hockey Channel. Now before we begin this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank you for all of your support. I've never been able to do with all of you guys, so I'm going to subscribe so we can reach 50 subscribers. Leave a comment down in the comment section below discussing all that was discussed in today's video. Now I'm going to start today's video off once again, as I usually do with my game review recaps, by discussing the games that happened over the past couple of days. We had 8 games happen on Tuesday, we had 3 games happen yesterday on Wednesday, so we'll get to those games right now. First, we had 8 games on Tuesday. We started off with the Philadelphia Flyers coming back from down 1-0 to beat the Florida Panthers 2-1. Very good win there for Philadelphia to end their 5-game losing streak and improve to 26-19-6. So very good win there for Philly. Well, Florida drops down to 31-15-4, so aggressive there for Florida. Connecting a cage for 2 goal scorers for Flyers in the win. Overhead Hughes on goal score for the Panthers in the loss. Not a great game there for the Panthers. Definitely want to have back. Winnable game against the Flyers team, which was slipping going into the All-Star break, and they wound up losing. So not great stuff there for Florida. Then we saw the Vancouver Canucks break a third-period tie to get a 3-2 victory over the Carolina Hurricanes. Very good win there. But they were able to get the win thanks in part to a huge game. His first game as a member of the Vancouver Canucks from Lindholm. As you can see here, he scores first goal as a member of the Vancouver Canucks to open the scoring for the Canucks. He also scored another goal, and Lindholm was a huge part of why the Canucks won this game over the Carolina Hurricanes. Vancouver extends their point streak to 12 games and remain the best team in the league with a record of 34-11-5. So very good stuff there for Vancouver. Well, Carolina drops down to 28-16-5. So good stuff there for Carolina. Like we said, Lindholm, first as a member of the Canucks, had a 2-goal game. Hughes and Besser both had 2 assists, and Miller also scored for the Canucks in the win, while Martinook and Aho were 2 goal scorers for Carolina Hurricanes in the loss. So it was a really interesting game, 2 really good teams, really interesting, really close affair. But the Canucks are a team who comes away on top with the victory. Then we saw the Pittsburgh Penguins jump out to an early lead and shut out the Winnipeg Jets 3-0, as the Penguins now have a point in 7 of their last 9 games and improved to 23-17-7. Well, the Jets have now dropped 4 in a row and fall to 30-13-5. So not great stuff there for Winnipeg, who had a 14 or 15 game point streak, not exactly sure, but they had a long point streak at one point. But at this point in time, it's not going overly well for the Jets. For the Penguins, Carter, Oettinger, and Rust were 3 goal scorers, and Jarry stopped all 23 shots he faced in the show and victory for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So very good stuff there for Pittsburgh as they continue to climb the Metro standings, while the Jets falter a little bit here. And then we see the Montreal Canadiens jump out to a 3-0 lead en route to a 5-2 victory over the Washington Capitals. The Canadiens now have a 3-game point streak going and improved back to 500 at 21-21-8. Caps dropped to 22-19-7 and have dropped 5 in a row. So not good stuff there for Washington. Suzuki had 3 points with 2 goals and 8 assists. Slavkovsky scored twice. Matheson had 2 assists, and Pizzette also scored for the Canadiens in the win, while Strome had 2 assists, and Ovechkin and Sandin were 2 goal scorers for the Capitals in the loss. Not a great game there from the Capitals. Definitely one they want to have back. It was not a great game from the get-go against a really bad Canadiens team, and they wound up falling really, really bad. So not great stuff there from Washington. Then we saw the Flames jump out to a quick 2-goal lead and beat the Boston Bruins 4-1 to improve to 23-22-5, dropping the Bruins to 31-10-9. So very good stuff there for Calgary to continue to improve in the standings. Huberdeau, who had a goal and 2 assists, and Kadri, who had 3 assists, both at 3-point nights. While Zari Kuzmenko is first as a member of the Calgary Flames, and Hanifin also scored for the Flames in the win. While for the Bruins, Zach was a lone goal scorer in the loss. Not a great game there from the Bruins. Definitely one they want to have back, and their coach called them out after that game. That was a really bad game and bad performance there from the Bruins, and definitely one they want to have back. So bad loss there for the Bruins as the Flames continue to find ways to win. Then we saw the Dallas Stars get an early go-ahead goal in the second period, and Oettinger was fantastic, I think making something like 47 saves, as the Stars were able to help down the Buffalo Sabres 2-1, extending their win streak to 4 games, point streak to 6, and improving to 31-13-6, while the Sabres dropped to 22-24-4, so not great stuff there for Buffalo. Duchesne and Steele are 2 goal scorers for the Stars in the win. Thompson a lone goal scorer for the Sabres in the loss. Not great game there for the Sabres. Definitely want to have back. It's not that they didn't try. This was a really good game from Buffalo. It was a really close game. It was just Andre Stone his head, and that's why the Dallas Stars won. So very good win there for Dallas. Then we saw the New Jersey Devils give up a 2-goal lead when they were up 3-1, but recover and beat the Colorado Avalanche 5-3. Huge win there for the Devils to improve to 25-20-3, dropping the Avalanche to 32-15-4 and ending their 4-game point streak. So not great stuff there for the Colorado Avalanche. Hall and Bratt both had a goal and an assist. He shared 2 assists, and Marino, Tierney, and Mercer also scored for the Devils in the win, while Duran had 2 assists, and McCarr, Girard, and Rantanen were 3-goal scorers for the Avalanche in the loss. So not great in there from the Avalanche. Definitely want to have back. Winnable game against the Devils team. They came back and tied it, so it was really interesting and really close game, but it was the Devils coming with the victory. So very good stuff there for New Jersey. Then we saw the marquee matchup of the evening. The Vegas Golden Knights took on the Edmonton Oilers. These two had a very good game. It was a playoff style atmosphere. It was 1-1 for most of the game. It was 1-1 after a first, 1-1 after a second. But then this goal here from Chandler Stevenson early in the third period of Baltimore's career Sportsnet would give the Golden Knights a 2-1 lead, and the Knights would shut it down in a playoff style matchup. They would wind up winning. Vegas was able to get an empty netter late in the game, and Vegas ends the Edmonton Oilers' 16-game winning streak at 16 games, as the Golden Knights were able to win 3-1. Vegas has now won 6 of 8 and improved to 30-15-6, with the Oilers' 16-game winning streak, one short of tying the record at 17 games, falls short, and they fall to 29-16-1. So not great stuff there for Edmonton after a long run. I thought this was a very likely chance coming out of the All-Star break that a Vegas team who did not send anyone to the All-Star break and was resting and recovering, and they weren't even fully healthy with Eichel and Theodore injured right now, could wind up being Edmonton in the streak, and they did. Vegas looks outstanding right now. For Vegas, Stevenson had a goal and an assist like we said. Roy and Carlson also scored for the Knights in the win, while McDavid was a lone goal scorer for the Oilers in the loss, and Aiden Hill was brilliant in this game for Vegas. So very good stuff there for Vegas. A huge playoff style win. This is a very likely, it could be a first round matchup if Vancouver holds down the Pacific Division title. So if that continues to happen, this could easily be a first round matchup between the Golden Knights and the Oilers, and it was a fantastic game between those two. So love to see that game, but Vegas is the one who ends the Edmonton Oilers winning streak at 16 games. So very good stuff there for Vegas. Those were the games that happened over on Tuesday. Lots of interesting action there. Then we saw 3 games happen yesterday. First, the Toronto Maple Leafs blowed a couple of leads in this game. They were able to get ahead in the third period and wound up being the Dallas Stars 5-4. They've now won 5 of 7 and improved to 26-15-8 on the season, while the Stars 4-game win and 60-game point streak end, and they fall to 31-14-6. Not great stuff there for the Stars. Nylander, who had 2 goals and an assist, and Tavares, who had a goal, 2 assists, both had 3-point nights. Matthews had a goal and an assist, and Martin also scored for the Leafs in the win. So the big four continue to show up for the Toronto Maple Leafs, while Donato scored twice, and Ben Johnston also scored for Stars in the loss. So not a great game there for the Stars. Definitely want to have back. They were in this game for basically the entirety of the game, but they did find themselves on the losing side of things. Not great stuff there for Dallas. Then we saw New York Rangers jump out to a 2-goal lead and hold on to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-1, as they've now won 3 straight and improved to 32-16-3. So very good stuff there for the New York Rangers, while the Bolts up to 27-19-5. So not great stuff there for Tampa. Vesey scored twice, Gaudreau 2 assists, and Brodzinski also scored for Rangers in the win, while Hagel was a lone goal scorer for the Bolts in the loss. So not great in there from the Bolts. Dug themselves into a 2-0 hole, and they would wound up losing by 2 goals. So not great stuff there for Tampa, as they fall and lose a little bit of ground in the Atlantic Division standings. Then last night, we also saw the Minnesota Wild break a 1-1 tie in the third period, thanks to this goal here from Marcus Foligno. That would give the Minnesota Wild a 2-1 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks, and that's the way game 1 ended. Minnesota is now on 4 of 6 and improved to 22-23-5 with the 2-1 victory over Chicago, while the Hawks have dropped 5 straight and all to 14-35-2. So not good stuff there for Chicago. For the Wild, Terry had 2 assists, and Lucchini and Foligno were 2 goal scorers for the Wild in the win, while Foligno was lone goal scorer for the Hawks in the loss, as they have lost, like we said, 5 straight. So not great stuff there for the Hawks. Definitely want to have back. Winnable game against the Minnesota team, who was up and down over the past little while, and they do wind up falling. So not great stuff there for the Hawks, but the Wild are able to keep pace for the time being in the playoff race. So very good stuff there for Minnesota. Those were all the games that happened over on Wednesday. So lots of interesting game action from over the past couple of days. Lots of interesting stuff happened on Tuesday, including Vegas beating Edmonton. Lots of interesting stuff on Wednesday. Going over to a game preview here for the next couple of days. There are going to be 7 games later today, and there are going to be 3 games over tomorrow on Friday. So today there are 5 games at 4 o'clock. The Vancouver Canucks to remain the best team in the NHL, taking on the Boston Bruins. who are looking for revenge after losing to that game against the Calgary Flames on Tuesday and looking to play a lot better of a game tonight. The Capitals take on the Panthers at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Capitals trying to end this losing streak of theirs. Panthers trying to keep pace with Boston for top spots in the Atlantic Division. Calgary takes on New Jersey. The Flames trying to keep pace for a playoff spot and keep ahead of the 500 mark, taking on a New Jersey Devils team who's trying to keep pace for a playoff spot after being in Colorado on Tuesday, trying to beat Calgary and closing on a wildcard spot. At 4 p.m. Pacific time, Jets take on Flyers. Flyers looking for back-to-back wins and to keep ahead of the teams in the Metro Division, taking on the Jets team who's trying to keep pace with the Colorado and Dallas for top spots in the Central Division. And then also at 4 p.m. Pacific time, Colorado takes on Carolina. The Avalanche also looking to try and keep pace with Dallas for top spots in the Central Division, while the Carolina Hurricanes look to try and keep pace as much as they can with the Rangers for top spots in the Metro Division. And then at 5 p.m. Pacific time, Bulls take on Islanders. Bulls trying to avoid losing back-to-back games to New York teams and try and get a huge win to keep pace with Detroit and Toronto for a spot in the top 3 in the Atlantic. Taking on Islanders teams trying to win back-to-back games and keep pace for a playoff spot. And then at 6 p.m. Pacific time, the Golden Knights look to win again and look to keep ahead of the Oilers and closing on the Canucks, taking on a Coyotes team who's looking to try and stay above 500 with a win. So those are going to be some interesting games that happen later today on Thursday. And then tomorrow on Friday, there are 3 games. At 5 p.m. Pacific time, the Penguins take on the Wild. Wild trying to get back up to 500, keep pace for a playoff spot, take on a Penguins team who's trying to keep pace for a playoff spot. At 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, the Rangers take on the Hawks. Hawks trying to end this 5-game losing streak of theirs, take on a Rangers team who's looking to extend their winning streak to 4 games and improve in the Metro Division standings. And then at 7 p.m. Pacific time, the Edmonton Oilers look to get back on the winning side of things, take on the Anaheim Ducks. We're looking to play spoiler and help the Oilers lose back-to-back games. So it'll be interesting to see, but those are the games that are going to happen over the next couple of days. Lots of interesting stuff there. 7 games on Thursday, 3 games on Friday, so lots of interesting game action for the next couple of days. Going over to a quick look at the standings as of February 8th, 2024. As it sits right now, the Boston Bruins have 71 points and lead the Atlantic Division. They're followed by 66-point Florida and 60-point Toronto. The 67-point New York Rangers lead the Metro Division. They're followed by 61-point Carolina and 58-point Philadelphia. 59-point Tampa and 58-point Detroit are 2 teams in a wildcard spot, and they're followed by 54-point NYI, 53-point Pittsburgh, 53-point Jersey, 51-point Washington, 50-point Montreal, 48-point Buffalo, and 42-point Ottawa and Columbus. And those are teams on the outside looking in the Eastern Conference. In the West, you have 68-point Colorado and 68-point Dallas. Both teams have played 51 games and have 68 points, but the Avalanche do have the tiebreaker. And then you have 65-point Jet, third in the Central Division right now. The 73-point Vancouver Canucks lead the Pacific, the West, and the league, and they're followed by the 66-point Knights and 59-point Oilers. Then you have the 56-point Kings as the first wild card, followed by 54-point St. Louis, who's in the second wild card spot, and they're followed by 54-point Nashville, 52-point Seattle, 51-point Calgary, 49-point Arizona, 49-point Minnesota, 38-point Anaheim, 33-point San Jose, and 30-point Chicago. And those are the teams on the outside looking in the Western Conference right now in the standings. So it's lots of interesting stuff there. And before I end this video, I'm going to go over to a quick look at how the teams are doing this year compared to how they were doing last year at this exact same point in time. So if you look at the Vancouver Canucks, they continue to do a ton better than last year. They're 29 points ahead of where they were last year at this point in time. So very good stuff there for Vancouver. They're having a monster season this year. Then you have the Florida Panthers, 14 points ahead of where they were last year, as well as the Arizona Coyotes. The Columbus Blue Jackets are 9 points ahead of where they were last year. The Avalanche are 8 points ahead of where they were last year. The Flyers are 7 points ahead of where they were last year. The Oilers are 6, as are the Red Wings and the Canadiens. Those teams are all 6 points ahead of where they were last year. The St. Louis Blues are 5 points ahead of where they were last year. So those are all the teams who are doing a ton better than what they were doing last year. While the Capitals are 5 points worse than where they were last year. The Flames are 6 points worse than where they were last year. The Hawks are 7 points worse than where they were last year. Sharks, Sabres, and the Leafs are all 8 points worse than where they were last year. The Wild and Bolts are 9 points lower than where they were last year. Boston's 10 points lower than where they were last year. Seattle and Carolina are 11 points lower than where they were last year. And New Jersey is 13 points lower than where they were last year. So lots of teams over there who are not doing as good as they were last year, like Washington, San Jose, Chicago, Toronto. Definitely teams like Seattle, Carolina, and New Jersey are not doing overly well. But teams such as the Canucks are doing a ton better. Panthers are doing a ton better. Coyotes, Jack, Jackets, Avalanche are doing a ton better, and all of these teams look a lot better than where they were at this exact same point in time last year in the standings. So definitely lots of interesting stuff there. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this down in the comment section below. That's what I'm going to talk about for today. What did you think of the games that happened over the past couple of days? Any sort of the games intrigue you? Was it Vegas, Edmonton, Chicago, Minnesota, Dallas, Toronto, Carolina, Vancouver, Calgary, Boston? Definitely any games over the past couple of days intrigue you guys? Which games you're most looking forward to over the next couple of days? Any games later today? Any games tomorrow? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. What do you think about the standings? Are you surprised that Nashville and St. Louis are tied for last wildcard spot? Are you surprised that the Kings are now only 2 points ahead of a wildcard position and falling out of a playoff spot? Are you surprised that Vegas is able to extend their lead over the Edmonton Oilers for second in the Pacific? Are you surprised that the Central is so tight in the top 3? Are you surprised that the gap between Detroit and the teams on the outside looking in is sort of closing? Are you surprised that the Leafs continue to hold down the hatches for third spot in the Atlantic? Definitely. Let's see you guys' thoughts on all of that. Plus, what do you think about how the team's doing this year compared to how they were doing last year? And who do you think can continue to do a lot better than how they were doing last year? Definitely. Let's see you guys' thoughts on all that down in the comment section below. That's all I'm going to talk about for today. Remember to like this video, and for that, subscribe down below. Thank you for all your support. I've never been able to do with all of you guys. So if you like to subscribe, so I'm going to turn to 50 subscribers. And also leave a comment down in the comment section below discussing all that discussed in today's video. Also the blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So if you check that out, I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all for next video. See you guys soon.